we're working with. There you see on the left-hand side, Austin Collins, who's picked up Amulet Titan in recent times, taking on Tommy K, as I've decided to call him, playing Grixis Death Shadow. Austin Collins, turn 1 Amulet.
Why'd you come up with that?
Tommy and I go way back. Just like a pet nickname I have for him.
Oh, that's sure. It's a camaraderie thing.
Right.
Okay.
Tommy K getting some cycling done here. Mishra's Bauble as well. Takes a peek at Austin Collins' top card. Inquisition of Kozilek. Not a lot of choices here. It's going to go ahead and take Azusa out of Austin Collins' hand.
And that's still a big hit.
Oh, absolutely. A very meaningful one, even though there wasn't a lot of choice to be made. Would have been a turn 2 Azusa for Austin Collins via this bounce land. Oh, that's a breeding pool. Never mind.
Tricked us.
Well, we didn't play breeding pool for the longest time. New addition to Amulet Titan.
Yeah, you want to play the Castle Garenbrig. Yep. You need some more forests in your deck.
Absolutely. Here's a Thought Scour for Tom. Target himself. Takes a draw. Sends the turn back to Austin.
And we talk about actions per turn.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Tom, he's used 2 mana so far this game, but look at how many cards in his library he's gone through.
Yeah. Very good point. Austin going to play a Talaria West here, untapped via that Amulet. Follow-up play. Here's Azusa.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It is going to resolve. What can we do now? How many lands can we get onto the battlefield? Should be safe from Fatal Push. Follow-up for Austin.
Yeah, so I think the consideration for Austin here is, does he want to play a Karoo, pick up the Talaria West, transmute it right now, and expose the card that he searches for to a potential discard spell out of his opponent? Or will he have enough mana available to him next turn
to do both?
To transmute and deploy a Titan?
It's a good question. Step 1, we're going to deploy this bounce land. Is going to return the Talaria West, replays it. 3 mana, has a second Talaria West. That gets transmuted, becomes a Summoner's Pact. Now the turn going to head back to Thomas. Thomas takes his draw for the turn. Would love to get a big body down, backed up by Stubborn Denial here. Knows that Summoner's Pact is coming. Going to go ahead and fetch is Thomas. Falling to 7. Untapped Blood Crypt.
Are you familiar with Tight Tommy from way back in the day?
Tight Tommy Gwevin?
Gwevin, yep.
Yeah. I know of Tight Tommy. I've never met before, but I've heard of him. So looks like what's happening here, Snapcaster Mage flashing back Inquisition of Kozilek in response Summoner's Pact.
Yeah, because the Titan in the hand is too big to be discarded by the Inquisition.
Makes sense. It does buy Thomas a little bit of time, though. Obviously, Austin has to pay for that pact. Going to go ahead and play a Golgari Rot Farm 3 times, though.
Yep, 3 times.
That'll make 6 mana. Final time returns Radiant Fountain, goes ahead, plays Primeval Titan, and that gets a scoop from Tommy. 10 damage, or excuse me, 8 damage was headed his way via Slayer's Stronghold, Boros Garrison, assuming they were in Austin Collins' hand, but we saw Austin's hand several times. Think he was safe from that.
And part of the power of this Titan deck is one of the ways people want to combat it is with discard spells. Well, all the lands are safe from those discard spells.
Yeah, and you play 29 of them, so...
Well, I mean specifically the Talaria West, which are just such a utility card for you.
Yeah. Well, don't forget about Field of the Dead anymore. I mean, I think that's also an important threat that is immune to all of those effects.
Yep.
Big change for this deck as well. How do you think this matchup changes in post-board games? Obviously, it depends on individual configurations, and we can take a look at what Thomas is working with. In general, I have felt favored as the Amulet Titan player in this matchup, but it really depends a lot on individual construction of the deck. And in Thomas's case, what's he got in the sideboard? I know there's a Damping Sphere.
Yeah, we're looking at Damping Sphere, Plague Engineer, Snapcaster Mage, 3 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Drown in the Lock, 3 Kolaghan's Command, the Royal Scions, 2 Collective Brutality, 1 Dreadbore, and 1 Duress.
Okay.
This is kind of an interesting mix. A lot of these cards they're good, not great cards.
Yep.
It seems like, Tommy's decided to go with a lot of utility cards that have a little bit of value in a lot of different matchups, rather than some very specific haymakers that are for very specific matchups.
That kind of makes sense with Grixis Death Shadow, right? You want to have game against everyone. You see a lot of your cards. It's kind of like sideboarding with a Legacy blue deck where you're casting Brainstorm all the time and you get access to your cards in a lot of different ways. Snapcaster Mage incentivizes a lot of those same things.
Sure. Yeah, so looking at this, obviously the Damping Sphere comes in. That one's very important. I like the Duress because you just want the most efficient interaction as possible.
Okay.
And then a lot of these other cards are kind of interesting. It's like, do you really want Disdainful Stroke? Can you leave that mana up? The Amulet Titan deck can go off on turns where it'll surprise you. And you don't want to just have to leave 2 mana up the entire game. And there's definitely times when the Grixis Death Shadow deck only has 2 total lands to work with. So that's an interesting choice there. Something like Kolaghan's Command has some utility. It can kill Azusa. It can take out the Amulet of Vigor. So it is pretty appealing, but it costs 3 mana. It's possibly just too late by the time you resolve that spell.
Sure.
So a lot of these, middle of the road, some utility cards, it'll be interesting to see if they come in.
With regards to Disdainful Stroke, I do want to point out we're up to 2 copies of Cavern of Souls now in the Amulet Titan deck. Able to power that through that one pretty effectively. And also you just have Field of the Dead as an alternate win condition, which really changes so many of these fair matchups for the better for Amulet Titan.
Sure, I don't know if it's an auto-include bringing in another Cavern out of the sideboard for Austin in this matchup.
Okay. We'll have to see. Thomas, meanwhile, just doing Death Shadow stuff, already at 12 life. Casting a Gurmag Angler.
Oh, and this is great because he has the Stubborn Denial in his hand, I believe.
Just going to play a Death Shadow, though. Wants to get pressure on the battlefield immediately. And you can understand why. You didn't see turn 1 Amulet, so you know you're not really in danger of losing the game here.
Yeah, I like getting the pressure on the board and then sitting back with your card denial cards.
Sure. Looks like 6 damage headed Austin Collins' way.
He's got the pretty double signature Death Shadows.
I think we accidentally moved through a required discard here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you're on the draw and then you play a Karoo, you end up with 8 cards in your hand.
We'll get that one cleaned up. Seems like that has been sorted out. Austin has now taken some damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, he definitely has another Azusa in his hand.
You weren't discarding that one for free. Just going to go ahead and deploy some lands here. Dismember on Azusa. Damage already done to some extent, up to 5 mana now, but Thomas rapidly depleting his own life total.
Oh, wow.
This is a nice spot for Thomas, though, because, like you said, Disdainful Stroke at the ready can take that Primeval Titan, have Disdainful Stroke for the Summoner's Pact. So knows he's pretty safe right now, unless Austin top decks something here.
Stubborn Denial, but yes.
Stubborn Denial, thank you. What did I even say, Craig?
The Disdainful Stroke.
Sure. I have Disdainful Stroke on the brain here. There is the Stubborn Denial, and that is going to get the concession from Austin Collins. And Thomas Killelea quickly evens this one up. 1 game apiece. Heading into a deciding Game 3 to figure out who's going to occupy one of our last top 8 slots.
And we see that the Grixis Death Shadow deck just leveraging its advantages in this matchup. When the opponent doesn't pressure your life total and you're able to use your life total as a resource where you convert it into a huge body or the best discard spells or a lot of card filtering with Street Wraith. It's just looks so good in this type of matchup.
Yeah, that was swift, efficient, and deadly. From
Super
the Grixis Death
efficient,
Shadow
yep.
player. I got to tell you something. So there's 2 Death Shadow players within striking distance of our top 8. One has locked up top 8. That would be John Holland. The other one is Thomas Killelea. I've been so impressed with both of their play, and they're not players I know as regulars here on the SCG Tour, but they are both playing at a very high level today, both very clearly familiar with this archetype. They know exactly what they're doing. They're very comfortable in all these situations. Impressive stuff from both these Grixis Death Shadow players.
Yeah, it's clear they've put in the reps.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we've made the necessary sideboard adjustments between games 2 and 3. Quick first 2 games there, only 18 minutes off the round clock. Plenty of time to figure out this game 3. I have a feeling it's not going to take that long.
Do you have that feeling because one of our table spotters already walked by here?
Emma Handy not respecting the sanctity of no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, Emma. Come on.
Looks like both players going to go ahead and take a mulligan here. Headed down to 6. I'm going to find out what TV show Emma really likes. Just start telling her what happens.
Man. Get a little revenge.
We're going to go to war. Emma and I are at war from this point forward.
At least you aren't a spiteful person.
Very mature.
Yeah.
What's unfair is that she spoiled us because she was mad at you, and I am just an innocent bystander.
Just collateral damage, yeah. That's what you get, Brian.
Guess so, for associating with known rabble-rousers like Craig.
Yeah, never should have sat down next to this guy.
Looks like both players ready to keep on 6. Austin Collins leading on Cavern of Souls. It's going to go ahead and put an amulet into play. Thomas going to crack a bauble, crack a fetch land. Untap Watery Grave. Just Death Shadow stuff. Cycle Street Wraith. Thoughtseize. What are we working with? Double Primeval Titan, Field of the Dead, Vesuva.
Not a great hand.
Not great, but it could develop very quickly. Things could change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, really needs a Karoo here.
Thomas going to Thought Scour, targeting himself, and just passes the turn back. Only 1 land on Thomas's side. Neither player with a great opener. Here's Vesuva. Turn's going to head back to Thomas. Finds a fetch land. That's big. That's going to be cracked. Thomas falls to 10 now.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got a Death Shadow or 2 to get onto the board here. Now look at this hand out of Austin. Just needs a green source in the worst way.
Pinched all over the place is Austin Collins. Again, if he finds the right draw, this hand can explode.
So a Karoo is spectacular.
Here's Gurmag Angler. Not going to have a lot of time is Austin Collins. The pressure is now here. All right, we are going to mute our mics for a second just so we don't spoil this match. Hang with us. All right, they have gotten past the part of the announcement we care about. But in the meantime, big things happening for Austin Collins. Has found the bounce land, so critical. Going to use that to go ahead, cast Ancient Stirrings.
Well, and that early game Cavern of Souls was on human.
Very interesting.
Which is huge here, because Austin can still deploy Azusa this turn.
Right. Looks like we just found a breeding pool. And now, going to use that cavern to cast Azusa. Going to play Breeding Pool and pass the turn back to Thomas.
So we know the last card is a Karoo. The Simic Growth Chamber.
Yep. Gurmag Angler going to swing in. Austin falls to 15. Simic Growth Chamber in hand. So many live top decks at this point.
Yeah, but it's funny. We've swung from a land being so important to lands just being the worst possible draws at this point.
It happens quick. Life comes at you fast as an Amulet Titan player. I will tell you, I see a Snapcaster Mage in Thomas's hand. It means that Stubborn Denial is online. So Summoner's Pact not going to get the job done. 2 Primeval Titans already in the bin for Austin Collins.
Yeah, he's drawn pretty thin here.
What can we put together? Just going to pass the turn back to Thomas, it looks like. Thomas going to go ahead and fetch. Falls to 9. Going to be 7, it looks like. Untap Steam Vents.
Oh, man.
Going to deploy that Snapcaster Mage. Use it to flash back a Thought Scour. Targets himself, draws a card. Heads back to his turn.
You know, it depends a lot on the contents of the rest of Thomas's hand. But I don't love this play. The Snapcaster Mage doesn't increase the clock.
Well, let's see what Thomas is up to. Like you said, could have another Snapcaster Mage rolled up. Maybe just wanted to spend his mana on the turn. A Collective Brutality in hand. That changes the clock.
That is a good one.
Yeah, now you see why he's incentivized to get that Snapcaster Mage down. But has lost access to Stubborn Denial possibly because of it.
Yeah, and are we going to escalate this here?
Looks like we are. Pitching Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, are we going for everything?
Yeah, we're going to take out the Azusa as well.
Well, I definitely like taking out the human.
Okay. Azusa gone, reveals hand. Just 2 lands for Austin Collins.
This is it for Austin.
Huge top deck here. What does Austin find?
And Summoner's Pact is live again.
Austin taps some mana. Finds a Tireless Tracker.
That's an interesting one.
Okay. Okay, Austin. Well, we have blockers now.
Yeah, I mean, the tracker can make a clue, which he can eat this turn, which is an extra card. It can block the Snapcaster Mage. He'll go to 1.
Right.
Next turn, if he makes another clue, it can trade with that Gurmag Angler.
Yeah.
And he's drawing those extra cards from the clues along the way.
Getting some work done here.
I think that's a big draw step. And he's saying, I'm going to pick up this Cavern of Souls. If
Titan.
Yeah, if I top deck a Titan here, it's going to just be safe.
Yeah, and just passes the turn back to Thomas. Thomas takes a draw. No longer has access to Snapcaster Mage. Discarded it last turn to that Collective Brutality. And that means only Gurmag Angler can attack here.
I think I like this attack.
We're going to crack this clue in response. Does Austin want to fall to 1? He does. Just going to take it. And the turn heads back to Austin, takes his draw for the turn.
Still need a Titan or a Pact.
Very smart attack that last turn from Thomas.
Yeah, it just makes sense not to send the extra mage into combat.
Mm-hmm. Here's the Cavern of Souls, redeployed. Gonna make a clue.
Oh, man. Oh, he drew it.
Primeval Titan off the top for Austin Collins.
And he has the amulet.
Has Amulet, has Field of the Dead.
Yeah, this is going to be zombies. This is going to be
He can project his life total a bit if he wants
trampling
to.
attacker.
He can trample haste this Primeval Titan. It's all about what kind of risks he thinks he can tolerate. Does he just want to go all in and try and get the win now?
Well, I think it's pretty safe for him. So he's going to get 2 zombies here, and then when he attacks, he's going to get 2 more zombies.
Right. I mean, you're right. This seems pretty safe to me.
And
a bunch of clues headed his way.
Yeah, no end to clues or zombies.
Here we go. Vigilance Haste.
Tommy K is going to have to chump block because, you know, he's playing Death Shadow, so he's already on 9 life.
Well, that Titan presently 8 power. But here comes the Tireless Tracker alongside it. And now we're going to go get 2 lands.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of zombies.
Yep. The zombie party has started for Austin Collins.
Yeah, if he gets another Field of the Dead, maybe a Radiant Fountain to protect him from another Brutality.
If it's still in the deck right now, it looks like Bajuka Bog plus Field of the Dead. Ton more zombies coming down.
just
He's like, there's a bunch. Don't worry about it. Do you have something to kill me? Because if not, you're dead.
What a draw step, the Titan.
And Thomas takes a draw. What did he find? Gurmag Angler attacks. Austin picks up a pile of zombies.
Yeah,
to put in front of it.
you just block with everything, right?
Absolutely. No need to risk it. Yeah, put the Titan in front of it too. I agree. Everything goes in front of this Gurmag Angler.
Yeah, the Teamer Battle Rage is the only card that you're scared of.
Yep.
You should put a billion toughness.
And it looks like that is going to do it. And Thomas scoops up his cards, and that means Austin Collins going to go ahead.